So yesterday we had a chance to meet up with El Paso's Democratic Congresswoman Veronica Escobar.
Congresswoman Veronica Escobar.
La congresista Veronica Escobar.
Texas Congresswoman Veronica Escobar.
Democratic Congresswoman Veronica Escobar of Texas.
Veronica Escobar.
Veronica Escobar.
Democratic Congresswoman Veronica Escobar.
I want to bring in Congresswoman Veronica Escobar, who represents El Paso.
Buenos dias. Good morning, everyone. My name is Veronica Escobar, and I represent the great community of El Paso, Texas. President Biden, because of his efforts around infrastructure, the United States finally has an infrastructure package that will fund historic investments. As we celebrate what is an incredible victory for El Paso, $11.5 million worth of victory.
The Bridge of the Americas is expected to undergo a $600 million renovation in coming years.
Working very closely with the university and in close collaboration with Congresswoman Escobar. Given the support that the Army has received, we're pleased to announce today an expansion of our talent pipelines here at UTEP. We are announcing for a total of $6.5 million in additive grants this year alone.
El Paso is getting a special visit today from the U.S. Department of Commerce. It was all to discuss a $40 million grant that was awarded to UTEP.
Congresswoman Veronica Escobar announced a $12 million infrastructure grant for the Isleta Port of Entry.
This is the same Republican Party, mind you, that votes at every turn against women and families. It's the same Republican Party that votes against an expanded child tax credit. It's the same Republican Party that votes against paid family and medical leave so that mamas can be home with their babies. This is the same Republican Party that votes against access to child care so that mamas can provide for those babies. And this is the same Republican Party that votes against universal pre-K so that those babies have a fighting chance. So make no mistake about it. This is the party that stands for American families and women. I'm excited to announce that after countless days spent authorizing and preparing for this legislation, a 16-plus hour Armed Services Committee markup, and 17 hours of action on the House floor, we have officially passed the fiscal year 23 National Defense Authorization Act. This robust and extensive bill sets the budget and lays out the expenditures for the Department of Defense. As Vice Chair of the House Armed Services Subcommittee on Military Personnel, legislation that invested in and benefited El Paso, Fort Bliss, and our service members was my #1 priority. I'm proud to announce that as a part of this year's NDAA, we secured many wins for each of these groups. I'm proud of the bold reforms we've made for our country that not only address the threats of today, but keep in mind the challenges of tomorrow. Most importantly, I'm proud of the work my team and I have accomplished on behalf of our great community and this amazing country. Madam Speaker, on August 3rd, 2019 in El Paso, a white supremacist massacred 23 innocent people at Walmart. Our red flag bill might have saved them. On August 31st, 2019, 8 people were killed in Midland, Odessa by a man who failed his background check and purchased a gun through private sale. Our bill on private firearm sales might have saved them. On May 18th, 2018, at Santa Fe High School, a 17-year-old used his father's gun to kill 10 people. Our safe storage bill might have saved them. And in Uvalde, parents are burying their babies today after an 18-year-old purchased an AR-15 style rifle and slaughtered 21 individuals. Our bill raising the age to 21 might have saved them. These are just the recent Texas mass shootings. It's not the teachers, the schools, or the doors. It's the guns. We can't save every life, but my God, shouldn't we try? America, we hear you, and today in the House, we are taking the action you are demanding. Take note of who is with you and who is not. Preserving Kastner Range and declaring it a national monument has been a priority for our community for 50 years, for 5 decades. Generations of El Pasoans have been asking the federal government to honor and uplift this incredibly rich, historic piece of El Paso identity, a piece of our identity that every spring, almost every spring, is carpeted in beautiful yellow flowers, and that has been the site of so many celebrations, photographs, and so much tradition dating back thousands of years. And so we are at a moment in history where we believe the moon and the stars have lined up. We have a president of the United States who has told the country he wants to make sure to create equity and to honor communities of color by preserving open space. We have a president of the United States who is looking for ways to uplift communities like ours. We also have a community that's come together and has provided hundreds upon hundreds of letters, thousands of signatures, relentless voices saying, Mr. President, we want you to use the Antiquities Act in order to preserve this open space. You have a Congresswoman who has made this a priority from day one, calling on the President to do that, but also pursuing legislative pathways as well, through the NDAA, through standalone legislation. This is a moment in time where we are hoping the moon and the stars will line up.
We have, as a country, built walls, separated families under the Trump administration, rapidly expelled migrants. Nothing has slowed things down or eliminated migration. So for the last couple of decades, we've tried it the Republican way. Our country has, by addressing migration solely at the border. That has been an absolute failure of policy and imagination. So we need a